วัสดีค่ะ I'm Jinda Waddell.
And I'm Kattariya Hill.
And you are watching Around Thailand here on In Channel, where we take a look at the week's hottest topics and take a more in-depth look at it. Now, on our agenda for today, before our first break, we're taking a look at the two main candidates in the by-election for the Don Mueang district, who are being fielded by the Pheu Thai Party as well as the Democrat Party. It's a battle between former actors Sam versus E.
That's right.
And after that, we're going to take a look again at the Democrat Party and at their efforts to reform the party from inside.
And also in the second part of the program, we take a look at a transvestite who used to be a beauty queen, won the competition, and now she has turned to monkhood. And we'll take a look at that in details, and also a Thai song that has become so viral, it's going to definitely be beating out Gangnam Style's Size MV for sure, I can tell you. But we'll take a look at that in detail and also some of the parodies that have been made. But let's take a look at some of the more serious topics heading to our first one.
Yes.
Now, as you mentioned, we take a look at the Don Mueang elections and a bit of a background behind why we're actually having these elections. Apparently, the Pheu Thai MP, Kun Karun Hosakul, was recently sentenced to a 5-year ban on politics. And this was actually surrounding some of the allegations that he spoke badly. He was mudslinging or saying defamation lines or words to Kun Tan Kun Jitiyasara, who is from the Democrats. Now, the court had ruled that the allegations which had stemmed from the 2011 general election means that he has now been banned, and they now have to choose someone new to represent his old post in Don Mueang. And of course, the elections or the by-elections is scheduled for June the 16th. Now, this is what you're watching here is a clip which was posted by a YouTube user called Spice Today on Saturday. And it reveals a bit of a spat that was going on between the two. And of course, this doesn't help any of the efforts, being that Kun Karun was just banned.
Yes, and he has also had a background, a history of attacking his opponents. In 2008, he did a flying kick towards a Democrat Party MP Kun Somkiat Phongphaibun, and some say that should have disqualified him as a lawmaker in the first place. And so during this 4-minute clip that you saw earlier, Kun Tan Kun was attending the same event at Boribun Sin Suksa School in the Don Mueang district, and they discovered he was recording Kun Karun with his phone. Now, Tan Kun said he was recording the general atmosphere of the meeting when Kun Karun came in to question him about it. And Kun Karun says that Kun Tan Kun was infringing his rights by taking photos and taking footage. And this caused a very heated situation. Now, Kun Tan Kun was heard saying, "Please don't hurt me, don't use force." No
Just
doubt
now.
thinking about.
Exactly. Just now he was putting his hand up saying, you know, I don't have anything here, like don't hurt me. And you can actually see Kun Karun being very angry and pointing the finger at Kun
Aggressive
Tan Kun.
body language right there. Although people have said that if you review the video later, he wasn't touched by him.
Yes.
You can hear a woman in the crowd shouting, "Who hurt you? Stop lying." So accusations that he was dramatizing the incident. And then later, Kun Tan Kun said, "I'm going to leave now, never mind," while continuing to take video footage of the incident.
Yeah. Now, the following day, of course, once this video went viral, he had to address the issue of what was going on in this video. Well, he basically said, "I was there to give a speech on the small, medium, and large community loan project, and after that, I left." And so there was actually no immediate response about the confrontation, the actual that he was threatened or anything like that. But he did refer to another allegation or another accusation that was made by Kun Bawat Wanlop Banhan, who is a former member of the Bangkok Metropolitan Council. He said, "I told the crowd or he had told the crowd that my team and I were giving out booze to people during Songkran holiday. And he insists that him and his team were actually handing out perfumed water to people during Songkran. So rather than actually addressing the incident between him and Kun Karun, he actually addressed another issue that was talked about as well. Now, in conclusion, he said that he had the right to observe the meeting. He was invited by another teacher to attend it. And he said that, the SML project involves taxpayers' money, so that was why he was there.
I see. Well, in conjunction to this dramatic incident, there is an election, a by-election coming up, where we take a look at the nominated candidates now from the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party chose, of course, Kun Jit Itsara as their candidate. They say they plan to undertake a constructive campaign leading up to Election Day and use social media to get backing from voters. Now, the Pheu Thai Party had several candidates they were thinking of fielding, including former Public Health Minister Kun Ying Sudarat Keyurapan. She was asked to run in the by-elections, but she announced she was not interested. She said she would also not accept a cabinet post if the Prime Minister decided to reshuffle her ministers, and she was offered a post. She said she was busy with religious affairs. For instance, she's currently engaging in the renovation project at the birthplace of Lord Buddha in modern-day Nepal. Now, Pheu Thai picked their candidate, who is also a previous actor known as Sam. He was actually a little bit more popular, I believe, than Kun Yi, but that, I guess, is debatable. This is following in the footsteps of the Democrats. He was a previous Bangkok governor candidate, but he did not win the race. He only won around 600,000 votes. And we also hear from the Pheu Thai spokesman, Prampong Noparit, who says, throwing his support behind Kun Yuranan, that Kun Yuranan is a Don Mueang resident and is famous and is widely accepted by the people.
Now, they said that there is actually a very short time from now until the actual by-elections. So in that very short amount of time, the person that they actually do select has to be someone who is well known, because that will definitely help with the elections. And it's easier for people to pick someone that they can relate to or someone they actually know. So this is exactly why they decided to use Kun Sam to enter as their candidate for the by-elections, which, as you can see, is actually very interesting, being that they decided to put two actors, not just one, into the same bowl here. And it's going to be very interesting how they decide to run their campaigns.
Yes, especially since it's going to be a very fierce competition.
Yes.
It is Don Mueang is the district that is a stronghold of the Pheu Thai Party. And so it would be a major upset if Kun won instead. So they're trying very hard to do that and promote policies that they think will help the local people.
And of course, we will definitely be seeing a more tighter security both before and during the voting process, according to the Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamrung, as he is a bit concerned that either groups might actually cause a bit of a riot. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that proceeds.
Yes, emotions are running high.
Okay then, well, let's take a look at our next topic, as the Democrat Party plans to reform itself, and they say they're going to take about 3 months.
Yes. There was a 36-page blueprint for the internal party reform submitted by Deputy Party Leader Kun Alongkorn Phonlabut. And the aims are, and they include revamping its internal structure, trying to attract new supporters from all walks of life, and that is from the base of around 11 to 12 million voters up to 15 to 16 million voters. So I'm guessing they're going to have to draw in the north and northeast. They also want to position the party as a viable alternative to the Yingluck government. Now, what has spurred this push for internal reform is the party leader Apisit Wechashiwa's expectation that there will be a snap election after Parliament is dissolved by the end of the year, and this is just speculation on his part. Now, the snap election would be occurring, if it does occur, before the government's 4-year term ends, which it's supposed to end mid-2015. Now, alongside of that, there's also drama in this issue. There were rumors of an internal rift. Alongkorn slammed party colleagues for accusing him of lacking ideology and principle. And he also said that his reform blueprint did not follow in the Pheu Thai party's footsteps. He was accused of intoxicating people with populist policies. And in addition to that, he failed to turn up to a press conference that was scheduled for Tuesday.
Well, that certainly isn't a good way of behaving for sure, but you know, he has been under attack. And as a response from that, he went onto his Twitter account and decided to address some of the issues that have been made against him. And I have to say, he does make a lot of tweets.
Yes.
Because, you know, being that in Twitter, you can only put in a few characters, but he had a lot to say. Now, some of the quotes from his personal Twitter account said, newspapers report that a senior Democrat claimed that Chuan Lik Pai was very angry that my reform plan contradicts the party's ideology because the plan focuses on populist policies. Another quote, he says, falsely citing Chuan, whom I hold in high regard, with the intent of lying is not gentlemanly. You can hurt me, but do not hurt the reform. And lastly, he said, I was attacked because I have disseminated a reform plan entitled The Party Reform Blueprint and 21 Years of Election Defeat in a straightforward manner since I do not want the blueprint to be distorted. So that is, of course, just some of the quotes that he mentioned.
Well, if there were any internal rifts, they were mended by Thursday when the Democrat Party leader Apisit Wechashiwa, accompanied by the party Secretary General Chalermchai Sriorn, as well as the Deputy Party Leader Alongkorn Phonlabut, opened a press conference and revealed that a working group will work out lines of reform and compile opinions from all of the party's resources. And they've accepted this reform blueprint so far. And so conclusions and suggestions for reform after that will be forwarded in 30 days to the Executive Committee. The Executive Committee will consider these proposals, then forward them to the MPs, and then to a party General Assembly. And as you said, the entire process will take up to 3 months.
Well, it will definitely be very interesting to find out how they're going to revamp themselves. Is it a bit of a cosmetics change?
Yes.
I don't know. Clearly, we will have to wait and see. And very interesting how the Democrat leader Apisit Wechashiwa believes that there is going to be a snap election, which I'm curious to find out how he came to that conclusion.
Well, the Democrat Party is it is the oldest political party in Thailand, so perhaps they are due for a makeover, especially if they can address some of the issues in the north and northeast, such as poverty and drought. They could possibly win some more voters there.
All right, then. Guess we will have to keep an eye out on that then. Well, let's go to a short break, and when we come back, we take a look at some very interesting topics, but let's see what's coming up next. And up next, we take a look at the very famous music video that is going viral right now on YouTube. It's only been less than 3 weeks, but it already has more than 11 million views. We'll take a look at that in detail coming up shortly.
Hello and welcome back. You're watching Around Thailand here on In Channel. Now you're watching our second segment. We're going to take a look at some more lighthearted news. First off, the Miss Tiffany Universe 2009 winner, which if you don't know, it's actually a transgender beauty pageant. Yes. Right. So the winner, known as Sorawi Natti or Nong Jazz, has entered the monkhood and become ordinated into the monkhood. His ordination name is Prat Maha Viriyo Bhikkhu, which means one who is diligent. He underwent the ceremony at a temple in southern Songkhla province, his home province, at a temple called Wat Liep, and he went through the ceremony sometime last month. And he's also said he wants to remain a monk until he dies. He said he claims his parents urged him to enter the Miss Tiffany Universe contest and has in fact studied Dharma for 2 years before deciding to be ordained. Now this has caused a bit of criticism and controversy, as you can imagine, because in Thailand, monks they have to be 100% male. That's one of the questions that is asked of the person who wants to enter monkhood. Are you 100% male? Are you not gender ambiguous? And of course, if Nong Jazz was the winner of the Miss Tiffany Universe, many people accepted her or him as a woman at that point. And so many think that he shouldn't be entering the monkhood. Now, he also came out to explain himself in some ways. We have some quotes, I believe.
Yes, he says that I want to be a monk for the rest of my life, and I'm ready to leave my worldly possession behind. It's not that I've become a monk to run away from problems, but I've studied Dharma for 2 years and now know what it truly is. Now, a lot of times people think that there are people who enter monkhood for life due to religious reasons, that they really want to be in it. And a lot of times people get into it because they run away from problems such as debt or things like that. So he has come out to clearly address the issue. Now, actually, initially he didn't come out himself to report that he's entered monkhood, but actually a lot of people were questioning where did he go to. And he actually didn't tell his parents that he was going to enter monkhood, and it was only later when they started to investigate and they found that he really was at the temple in his home province. And that was when he had addressed that, yes, he has definitely become a monk. And at that point, when he came to address it, he had just become a monk for the first day. And he said that he wasn't shy about telling people that he was a former transvestite beauty queen. And also we hear from the abbot of the temple saying that Jazz is 100% man, emotionally and physically.
Now, and to go along with this idea of whether he's a man or a woman, these are some personal details that have been put out in the media. He had not had gender reassignment surgery.
Yes.
And he had also removed his silicone breast implants. And so in appearance, he is completely 100% a man. And so that's why the abbot of the temple has accepted him. Now, he's also received support from the media industry. The exclusive star editor, Kun Daisy, says, I support Jazz in his decision to become a monk. When he first told me, I was shocked, but I wasn't surprised because I always knew he was interested in Dharma. She also says that I often said he was more suited to the ways of the Dharma world than the real world. So really not a surprise for people who knew him very well because he's had a long abiding interest in Buddhism and in religion. Now some may see this also as an effort to repay his parents.
Yes.
Many men in Thailand, many Thai men, will enter the monkhood at least for a short period of time as a way of building up good karma and a way of repaying their parents for raising them and helping them from a young age. So this is also one way of showing his gratitude. Some people, however, have come out to criticize that he's only doing it for publicity's sake.
Well, you know what? He did mention that the reason why he entered the actual contest itself was surprisingly because his parents had urged him. Now, this isn't something that we hear about often because a lot of times when people decide to have a sex change or become the opposite sex, there's a lot of criticism and people not wanting you to undergo that transformation. But in this case, his parents were very supportive. So I think, you know, for whatever reason that he decided to enter the contest, be it for his parents or for himself, he has decided at this point in life that he actually wants to do this because it's something that he's very interested in. And I guess you can say it is a very sensitive topic because it is, of course, his personal choice about what he would want to do. And, you know, everyone who says anything about him is just, I guess, the viewer's point of view as well about what should be.
And he's not the first public figure to change from woman to man or man to woman. I believe there was a celebrity who was on a singing contest.
Thailand's Got Talent.
Yes, exactly.
Apparently, recently she came out to report that she has been a woman, and she met this other woman that made her want to transform back into a man. So she had cut her hair, changed the way she dressed to be more manly. And of course, once they broke up, she then came back to return to be a female. So I think a lot of people were surprised and criticized her because I think society wants to see people either be one thing or the other. I think in Thailand there's nothing wrong if you want to be a man. There's nothing wrong if you want to be a woman or maybe bisexual, I don't know. But I guess they like to feel that people stick to one thing and not change.
Well, a lot to think about.
Yes.
Let's move on to our last topic, even a bit more lighthearted. It is a music video created in Thailand that has gone viral among many countries, actually. We've had 11 million views. Let's take a look. It's called รักต้องเปิด or แน่นอก, which means love must be open, but your chest is tight, or your chest hurts. So let's take a look at that.
Then, well, as you can see, a very, very catchy tempo. How could you not dance to that? You know, I have to say we were trying very hard to control ourselves to just listening to this. But this song is actually called Splash Out. But of course, as you mentioned earlier, in Thai, we know it as รักต้องเปิดแน่นอก. It was done by the hip-hop group 321 under the Kamikaze brand. And also it features the folk singer Sayam, Bai Tơi or Sayam, excuse me.
Luke Tung singer.
That's right. Now the video is not that old. It's actually been uploaded less than 3 weeks ago. And already over 11 million views. So I'm sure that number is just going to skyrocket up even more.
Now, to help out our non-Thai speaking viewers a little bit, we have a bit of a translation of some of the choruses and lyrics.
I'd love to hear.
It's not poetry, but it does make sense. Now, the first chorus goes, in this day and age, men don't really have rights. Women who bare their chest, and they're talking about it in two senses, are looked upon favorably, so people who express their feelings or actually literally bare their chest, whereas men who do it have their sexuality questioned. The chorus itself says, it weighs on me, แน่นอก, which means your chest is tight, it's heavy, and so I'll lift it off. But the second meaning could also be that, you know, you're uncomfortable by having your breasts bound, and you're going to set them free. And carrying this burden for a long time will hurt your heart. A matter this big, it'll just burst forth. So they're talking about expressing your feelings if you're having romantic feelings for another person. And it's this play on words as well as the very interesting dance moves has made this MV music video very, very popular. It's gone viral, not just in Thailand, but all across Europe. I've seen videos of people emulating these dance moves in Canada, in America, among K-pop fans. And I believe that China and Taiwan has also shown interest in buying the rights to broadcast the music video in their respective countries.
That's right. Now, the fact that it has gone viral online has really shown how important social media is in helping a video generate this many views and to become very, very popular. Now, the strong points about this particular song is that not only does it combine, a catchy, poppy, dancey kind of tune, but you've also got hip-hop and you've also got folk singing from Thailand.
Yes.
And also, of course, nowadays if you want to have a viral music video, it's got to be catchy, people have got to love to dance to it, and you know what, you don't even need to have good looks, so long as you can dance, and you can definitely be like Psy. So this is just some